What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tom and Will FBL show. What's up?
Well, hello, everyone. Hello, Thomas.
Hello,
mate.
I
love it. It feels like the weeks are just like coming thick and fast, and that's just the way I like it.
Because they are. They are. But we actually did a show it feels like ages ago since we did our last show.
No, it does. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We were going to sneak one in, weren't we? But then it's just too busy. Even this is going to have to be a rapid show, TK, because one, I'm not in my usual setup, as you can see, and I'm currently occupying the living room, and because there's some idiots bloody making noise out the front of my house. So
I'm trying to figure out where you are. Like, I remember where your guitar was. Have you changed? Like, on your right is where your TV usually is, no?
On my right is the garden and TV is right here, and then on my left is like I've got a little living room.
So have you just restructured the whole lounge just for this? Like, Tom, I just need 10 minutes.
I quite like it actually. It's nice and bright and airy, and
yeah,
Anyway, how are you, mate? You good?
All the better for seeing you, my man.
Yes, sir. What a game week!
The game last night. So, guys, we are recording Friday morning. So it's the morning after the night before. Bloody Ahmad, right? I mean, I was like, after the taste, obviously you were losing the most of the game and playing awful, and then Ahmed scored, and I was just kind of like, yeah, that's nice, good for them, that's fine. And like, bearing in mind, I'm doing really well at this point. Like, I was up like almost 500,000 places going into this game, and I had Bruno to play, and then Ahmad scores. Like, yeah, great, nice for him. And then he scores again. I'm like, all right, mate, just settle down. All right. And then he scores a fucking hat trick, and I'm getting texts from Will going, "Oh, I told you he was going to score a load of goals." I was like, fuck. I was like, I just like threw a strop. And I'm just sitting there. I'm just sitting there working. I was just like, oh, God, it's the worst night ever. And yeah, he chalked off.
He didn't even text me back. No. He didn't even bother messaging back. He was like, nah, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. But yeah, no. It was an absolutely atrocious game. One of the worst performances I've seen in a long time. And then all of a sudden, it's Southampton, and that's the intensity we should have been playing with from the start. Anyway.
I like Skulls. Skulls is just
great.
So matter of fact, isn't he? Just like
terrible.
Got away with
it. He's a man of few words, but yeah, they are on point.
Love that.
So
guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, we've got an interesting show for you this week. Very exciting. We're going to do a quick game week 21 roundup of how we got on, 5-a-side, how our main teams did. We're going to skim through that. We're going to keep it snappy today, as Will said. The main thing we'll be doing on this week's show is this wildcard time for the Teen Machine. We are currently, just for a reminder, the Teen Takedown, the Teen Machine is our team where we are fighting against Will's 15-year-old nephew, Spike. Spike has an all bells and whistles, all guns blazing team. We have differential team. He is 125 points in the lead. Our team is all over the show. It's wildcard time. So we are playing our differential wildcard this week. That's going to be the focus on this week's show. But before we do that, it's everybody's favourite time. It's time for the Green Arrow shoutouts. I'm not ready.
Oh, bollocks.
I'm not ready.
I've got my fucking... I'm not ready.
Who said that? We weren't ready.
I've grabbed the first thing that I could.
Oh yeah, great. All right, don't show me. Wait, a bit of surprise.
I've got a choice of two.
Okay, well, you ready?
Okay.
Ready. So guys, before we do anything else, let's do some Green Arrow shoutouts. Yes, Will.
Oh, I love those ones that you're used to wear those snowboarding tops. Such good shades, man.
And mate, I tell you what, when you're a little bit tired, I could quite happily keep these shades on for the rest of the show. This is nice. So, game week 21. We've had some great performances, starting with Liam Hoban. He is up 325k. He's in the mini league. He got 100 points this week. Nice,
Yes.
Liam. Then we've got Christian Ashley, also in the mini league, up 421k. He got 91 points this week. We got FBL. Hello to you, sir. 298k rank rise, 93 points. These guys all in the mini league, guys. This is why you want to get in the mini league. Big news this week. The Mad King is off the bottom of the league. He went up 771k this week. He's off the bottom of the mini league. He's been there as long as I can remember. Come on, the Mad King.
Come on, the Mad King.
While we're here, we've got a new person who's bottom of the league, and that is Barry Coldham, with his team haven't got a kudos. And mate, couldn't agree more. Bottom of the league. He's had Haaland since day one. He's never moved away from him. That's what you get.
Oh, my
Then we've got TK up 382k. Boom, boom, boom. Come on. And then finishing with my boy Will. Another good week for you. 420k. Well done, everybody. Game week 21. Green arrows. You smashed it.
Come on. Excellent work, everyone. Well done.
Well done to you, mate. Another good week.
Well, it wasn't looking great for a while, but then haven't won those for a while. Then all of a sudden clawed it out of nowhere. But yeah.
Before we go through your team, so guys, all of those people that we just discussed are in the mini league. Why don't you join the mini league if you're not already in? The auto join code is in the bio. Otherwise, the league code is MUOMWR. Winner of the league gets a Premier League jersey of your choosing for next season.
Amazing.
So, Will, 84 points for you, my man. Who are your big performers? How'd you get on?
It wasn't looking too bad. I made start from the beginning. I rolled, no transfers, same team as last week. João Pedro on my bench this time. Hall, Muniz in defence, both got 6 points. So I captained Salah, and I know we discussed Isak, and I just got the fear right at the last minute. I was worried he wasn't going to get a full game. I shouldn't have thought again. I should have gone with the gut, but I got scared. But still did pretty well. Mate, so Salah only got 4.
Very quickly, like you had a failed captain and you still got 84 points. It's a great effort, mate.
I've got a lot. Yeah. So I had Gordon scored obviously 9 points. Palmer got 10. Ahmed 20 points. Isak got the 16, which is amazing, and then I had Chris Wood with 9. Yeah. That's a roll. And so I've got 2 free transfers rolling through and 84 points. If I'd obviously ifs and buts, Isak captain, we would have been talking closing close to 100. So it would have been lovely.
Great effort, mate. That cheeky little hat trick for Ahmad's just a killer. 20 points.
It was funny because I was Tom obviously knows this, listeners and viewers. Last night or yesterday, I was doing some of the admin. I was doing some of the thumbnails and stuff for the show, and I had who did I have? I had Foden, and I had Crystal Palace defender. Oh my goodness. Gahey, yeah, and because he had an amazing game week, and then I was like, but obviously, Tom, I'm going to replace. This was yesterday afternoon, as I said. I'm going to replace Foden with Ahmad after he scores a hat-trick tonight. As a joke, because I didn't think he was going to score a hat-trick, but of course he did. So Ahmad's back in the thumbnail.
Is a joke.
As you can see. But anyway, yeah, so really solid game week. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting a bit of a red arrow this week, but it's turned out to be green, and I'm up another near 500,000. So yeah, doing pretty well. But you didn't do too bad, man. Oh, you were looking good too.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was really good up until last night. Like I say, I was almost up 500,000 in rank rise. But
where are you at now? Like, you must still be up. Not many people have got Ahmad, no?
No, so basically, like I said, I went from like 500k rank rise to about 380. So he chalked off like 120,000.
Easily
That
done,
little lovely bastard. He's such a nice guy, isn't he, Ahmed? Did you see the interview after? He's just like such a decent guy.
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, I could have done without Southampton. Just absolutely falling to bits, fuckers. Anyway, I got 78 points. 78 points, absolutely fine. Big performers was Palmer and Isak, really. Otherwise, everyone else just chipped in quite nicely. I brought in Wood, benched him. Didn't even fancy playing him. Brought him in mainly for next week. I had Evan Nelson, who was injured. And I just thought, going forward, Wood's the guy. But, I wanted to play my midfield in Salah, Rogers, Palmer, Murphy and Fernandes. I thought they'd outscore Wood, but not to be. They didn't do bad. What are you going to do, mate? Can't win them all. It's a green arrow.
Tricky one.
We move on.
Yes, sir. Still good, though.
Yeah. So next week, you're rolling.
Yeah.
I'm rolling. We're in a good place.
We're not going to touch. I don't want to touch on. I would go into chip strategies because the rolling is all to do with chip strategies. But that's a bit more of a talking point. But maybe we talk about that next week. Just
a little thing on chip strategies. Obviously, so since our last show, the Arseman manager prices have come out now, so we know we've got a little bit more information about tactics in terms of who we want and maybe when we want to get them. We also had the double announced, the Liverpool-Everton double announced on game week 24. So we do have a lot more information. I think at the moment there's decisions to be made about when you do play the assistant manager chip and whether or not you target the double in 24. We think they're going to be doubles in game week 33 and 36. We think there could be blanks in 29 and 34. But at the moment, we don't have enough information about which fixtures are moving to really make a kind of wise enough call to say, look, I'm definitely going to play the free hit in this week and the assistant manager in this week. We need to see which fixtures get moved, I think. There are some strategies. Like we've got, provisional strategies. I think we'll touch on it more maybe next week. But yeah, I think we're still waiting on a little bit more information. It's all about which fixtures move where and what you want to target. But yeah, each to their own. Have a little think. Like I said, I think we'll touch on it a little bit more next week because we need to be getting onto this wildcard chat. Very quickly,
yes.
Let's just talk about captain choice for game week 22 before we start going into differentials. It's a little bit trickier. I see you've made your 4 suggestions. So we've got Isak home to Bournemouth, Haaland away to Ipswich, Salah away to Brentford, and Bruno at home to Brighton. I've got to say, Mo was a little bit out of sorts in the last game. He was basically out of sorts for about 85 minutes, and then he seemed to wake up and was looking dangerous right at the end. But that's been a couple of performances back to back that he's not quite been his energetic best, and it's kind of putting me off him a little bit going into Brentford away. We know that Brentford are solid. And Isak home to Bournemouth could be good. Isak's just on fire at the moment, but Bournemouth are a good team. It's a tricky one this week. It's a tricky one. I'll tell you what, someone you haven't put on this list, Will, who my current captaincy is on, and that is Mr. Cole Palmer at home to Wolves.
Can I just interject? Can I just just so you know, all I did was we have this shared spreadsheet that we work off. I just changed the ones that you had put last week. So yeah, they're actually
Works.
not. I wouldn't pick Bruno.
Wouldn't pick any of those.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick it. No, I think they're kind of. I think Palmer would definitely with the one. I'd probably exchange Palmer for Bruno. But they're sort of like the common people. I think that most people would choose. But there's definitely some other shouts in there for sure. If you've got a Foden. Like if you still have those City assets, like Haaland's obviously Haaland, but Foden's got back-to-back back-to-back returns, 2 goals last week. So I'd be quite tempted for a cheeky Foden if you have him against Ipswich away, and Ipswich they're struggling a bit at the moment now. So
Foden.
I know Foden, he's such a troll.
I'm so over that guy. I don't know if you saw, Will. I was chatting on socials about differential moves for our differential team going into this week. I was like, look, guys, we're in trouble. We're probably going to have to wildcard soon, like next week. Here we are. But I was like, who would you bring into this team? And Phil was like, what about Foden or Trossard? And I was like, we've been burnt. We've had both of them. We had both of them in this team, in this differential team, didn't we? And they were awful. They were killing it. And I was just like, I don't want to see those guys ever again. Foden gets 2. Trossard gets 1. I'm like, oh, mate.
Foden in my main team was one. I had him for a couple of game weeks, like game week 3 and 4 when he came back 5 and 6 or something like that. And he was a major when Mbwamo was like just running things, and I was like, what am I doing? I'm literally going off last season, and he hasn't been playing well, and he stinks, but he has had 3 goals in the last 2 games. So
yeah,
one person who we have to talk about, or a team moreover, is Forest. Alanga against Southampton. I know Southampton look better against United, but Forest are a much better team than United at the moment. Chris Wood, obviously. Yeah. These are the guys. Like, if you're unsure, like Isak's obviously got a trickier fixture, but he's playing lights out football. But Chris Wood is just he probably will get a goal. Like, the probability is there. He'll probably get a goal, and that's a nice little with a bonus. It's a nice little 18 points. That
you and I, we've both got him as our vice captain this week. It's like we both know that he's probably going to do well, but we don't have the balls to captain him.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are you thinking then at the moment?
I'm leaning to, after last week's last game week's Burn. I'm leaning towards Isak or Chris Wood. I might take a cheeky little Chris Wood.
I'm not sure. Like I say, at the moment it's on Palmer, but that might change. To be honest with you, I can't decide. I cannot decide. I'll see how I feel. Yeah. I'll see what happens. I'm probably gonna have a cheeky beer or 2 this evening, and I'll just make the decision then. Okay, right. Let's move on to the meat and bones of the differential wildcards. Right, so, as I've said, we're 125 points behind. Our team, as it stands, guys, is thus. We have our goalkeepers, Leno and Pope. Obviously, Leno's been playing while Pope's out. We can't be bothered to transfer him out until now. We got Akanji, Robertson, Timber, Delict, Kirkes in our team. We've got Eze, Sarr, Odegaard, Son, Alanga, and then we've got Jesus, who's now injured, Mateta, and Gakpo up top. So I think the way we're going to do this is we're going to go through our positions. Will and I have both prepared our wild cards, and we're going to go through the positions and see what we think. We've also got some suggestions, which I'll come into from socials. I'll keep them up my sleeve for now. Okay. So let's start with goalkeeper.
So for my 2 goalkeepers, I've gone with Alisson Becker, Liverpool, and Martinez, Aston Villa. Obviously looking at Becker because of the double
Martinez,
fixture.
First of all, isn't under 10% owned.
Is he not? Are you sure?
I'm quite sure. Stand by. He is 11% owned.
Okay. My
it
bad.
was failed the first hurdle of the differential team.
I could have sworn I did. My bad. But maybe off the top of my head, then we could just go with. Who you got?
I also have got Alisson because of the Liverpool double. And he's got a lovely little dovetailing with Fulham. So I actually thought about keeping Leno.
Okay.
So this week we got Fulham have got Leicester. Then they play Man United, so we can jump on Liverpool to Ipswich. Then we've got Liverpool for the double, Bournemouth and Everton. Then you've got Wolves against Liverpool. Game week 26 You could go to Fulham for Crystal Palace because Liverpool got Man City.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Then
Yeah,
Fulham have got Wolves, Brighton. Liverpool got Southampton. If you don't fancy Brighton,
Sounds
Tottenham,
good.
Villa, 29, and so on. Do you know what I mean? They dovetail beautifully. So I think it's a goer. Leno's solid. Fulham are a good team.
Yeah.
If in doubt, then just stay as you are. Lovely.
I like that. I mean, my main thing. Obviously, Alisson will get majority of the games, but like it's so important to make sure. I mean, when you can, that you do have that backup to kind of rotate. If it does, and as you said, that Fulham rotation is sweet, and it's definitely one to potentially obviously think about for defenders as also. So okay, I like those options. So I think we go with that. I think we go with Alisson and. Who was it?
Leno. All right, I'm going to do live changes just to check that we can afford this. But I can say with 100% certainty that we will be able to afford this because we're not allowed to have any expensive players.
Every one of my drafts I've done about 3 or 4. Every single one of my drafts, we've had about £6-7 million left in the bank.
Yeah.
Which is quite amazing, yeah.
All right, go on.
Okay, defenders.
So I have kept Timber in this team. I've also kept Kirkes at the moment. I've brought in Milenkovic. Obviously, I quite like a bit of Forest representation in this team because we know how solid their defence is. Brought in Munoz, Crystal Palace, and Newcastle. I've gone for Botman. Again, Newcastle, joint second best defensive team in the league. Botman, I think, is probably the most nailed going forward now. I think Shaw picked up an injury, didn't he? Or was he suspended? He was out for the last game.
I think he picked up a knock, yeah.
But I think Botman will be in favour, and it'll be probably Dan Burn that drops out of the team. I would think, because as soon as he's been fit, they've brought him back in. And Hall is out of reach. Livramento, don't particularly fancy him, and his minutes are at risk with trips. So I think Botman could be the way to go. I would like some Newcastle representation in this team. What do you think, Will?
Yeah, I like. I mean, I've just triple checked. I really didn't need to because you basically listed 90% of or 60% of the same. Yeah, Milenkovic same, Timber same, Muniz same. He's definitely on for some returns. Watched a little bit of that Crystal Palace game. I also had Konate, Liverpool, and then in there because just to get into that Liverpool, if you are going to double down on the Liverpool defence, does obviously take away a potential third place player. Which we'll come back to. Obviously, money's no issue. But I like what. Who were your other three? Other two, sorry.
So I said Timber, Kirkes, Milenkovic, Munoz, and Botman. I think, mate, Konate is definitely a conversation to be had. So at the moment, right, I've got in my wild card, I've got 2 Liverpool players with an open slot potentially. For the Arsemanship, potentially, we could use this team to just play the Arseman, get slot in because we got loads of money, and do the Liverpool double in 24, and just see how it goes. Like from a selfish point of view, just have a little play, see how we get on, and then see how it works out for when we actually play it for our main teams.
It's definitely one to consider.
Or we treble up, save it. Because to be on the flip side of that, the Arseman, you're going to get loads more points if you can target those managers that are lower and get that league bonus. Because, mate, we've got Potter and Moyes in now. There's manager bounces coming. Potter's
That's
looking
huge.
good.
Well, look, can we just park that for the time being? Because there's something I want to talk about coming back into the Liverpool play a little bit later.
What was the 5 you had? You had Timber, Kirkes, Milenkovic, Munoz, and Konate instead of Botman, basically.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, fine.
So we're basically on the same page.
I'm just going to make a quick note. We are. I'm just going to quickly make a note. Botman or Konate. Mm-hmm. As a question mark at this point. This is fun, isn't it, guys? Everyone loves a wild card.
This is. Oh, I do love a wild card, Thomas. Okay, so shall I go for my midfielders?
Yep, you can go for it.
Okay, so my midfield that I picked, I had Foden in there, but exactly because of what we discussed earlier, I just hooked him straight out because he's an absolute troll. But I did like that Ipswich fixture this game week. So I've kept Odegaard in. I think we had Odegaard in the side, didn't we?
Yeah.
Kept Eze in there. He was in there. Alanga, Imiobi, and kept Son. So I've actually kept quite a lot of the same players in there because I've looking through the fixtures, I've gone 22, 23, 24 and 25. They look all right. Like, they really do look like Eze, West Ham, Brentford, Man United, Alanga, Southampton, Bournemouth, Brighton, Ilmiobi, Leicester, Man United, Newcastle, tricky, Sun, Everton, Leicester, Brentford. They're decent fixtures. Like, they're really good fixtures. So I feel like we kind of have our midfield together. The only person I wanted to bring in there, and again, this is going back to what we kind of just discussed about Liverpool, was I love Jota the Slotter, but then I've just got a message this morning on LiveScore that's saying that he potentially has picked up a bit of a niggle, so he could be out this week. Yeah, he could. I thought he was like going to start this weekend, and I was looking at my main team thinking, hello, bring him back in, like only 3% owned or whatever. But I'm 90% certain I just saw something saying that Jota was out for the weekend.
Hey, that is
so I'm a bit
rubbish if that is the case. You just come back and... Oh, mate, how good was the substitute? Slot substitute was incredible, mate.
It was so good.
Oh, mate, just if anyone hasn't seen it, let me just picture the scene, right? We're 1-0 down.
Why do you get to do this and I don't get to do this about Ahmed's goal? Like, Ahmed's like Ericsson assist.
Well, Ahmed's goal's like, Southampton player fell over, he tapped into an open net. Anyway, right? So Liverpool have got a corner, right? And Slot's like, guys, I'm going to sort this out. Don't worry. 1-0 down. I'm going to bring on Tsimikas. I'm going to bring on Jota. Tsimikas takes the corner. First kick onto Jota's head. Boom, bam, bow. 1-1. We were unlucky not to go ahead and win that. What an amazing performance from Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, Slot must have just sat back in his armchair in the evening with his sort of like glass of whiskey or whatever. No, I reckon he's a wine man.
Within 3 minutes of the goal, I saw him with a cigar on the sideline.
He's Dutch, isn't he? So he'd probably be smoking some of that.
Yeah.
The herb. And but yeah, he just probably sat back and just went, yeah, I nailed that.
I don't know.
I totally know. So yeah, just saying. Speaking of the man, Arnie Slot reveals that Diego Jota is worried as Liverpool player picks up new injury, and that is on the Liverpool Echo, which is a decent source, and that was this morning at 9:30. So,
okay, so right, my midfield, just to go ahead, right, is very very similar to yours, and I think Jota is a really good shout because I do think he's going to start getting more game time once he's fit, and I think we basically need to monitor that situation because
absolutely,
if we don't play the assistant manager chip, then we should definitely get him in for the double because he's probably going to be fine by then if he is injured for 22. Let's see. But my midfield is extremely similar to yours. I also concur that we should keep Odegaard, Eze, right? And we did have Alanga. I was thinking that we could change him to Gibbs White. Gibbs White's looking so good at the moment. Elanga's great at the moment. He's still, like I said, and like you rightly said, he's hauling or he's returning every week at the moment. He's just his minutes are just a little bit more risk. It is not a 90-minute man. Gibbs White is so sharp. He was really good against Liverpool, and he's been playing really well.
You pick any one of them. I think they're going to get returns, but I don't mind. I like Gibbs White. Yeah,
I think Alanga's got a high ceiling, but Gibbs White is a more solid pick. Like he'll chip away more often than Alanga will.
Okay, yeah.
Also going ahead, right? I also had Foden in this team. City's fixtures, they do turn a little. So you got Ipswich this week. Then it's Chelsea, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, Tottenham, Forest, Brighton. They're tough fixtures. And City is still not firing in all cylinders, although Foden is finding form.
It was just that first fixture. It was just that one, as I said. Like I was like, I'm just looking at that Ipswich fixture. I was like, I quite like that for like a 1 week punt, and then I'd hook him straight away. Personally,
So is he in your wildcard team? You said you took him out.
I took him out. It was like I have changed him for Odegaard, but I was like, I was tempted by that Ipswich fixture. That's all it was, just by that one, and then rip him.
And then I've taken Son out of our team, but for Kulusevski, because I've wanted Kulusevski in my team all year,
I know.
and he has been performing to a high degree like all season. Like he's been really solid for them, and Son I think has been playing really bad. To be honest with you, a lot of the Spurs fans are like, he's so off the pace. He's been chipping in here and there, and he's capable and on penalties. But I think Kulusevski is the better pick, personally. So my midfield, Odegaard, Eze, Gibbs White, Foden, Kulusevski. My question mark was whether or not we go Foden to Iwobi. I was like 50-50 for them. I think you could play Foden for the next game and then chop him out for Iwobi, and then maybe even think about Jota.
I like that. Well, let's mark those two. But I do like the Foden to Iwobi for this week. I think we lock that one in. I'm down for that.
So go Foden this week.
And then hook them out for Iwobi.
How about this, Will? How about this? I'm going to overrule you on Son and go Kulusevski, and you choose whether we have Gibbs White or Elanga. That's your call.
Oh, can you come back to me on that? I'll think about it.
Right, I'm just going to take this opportunity to dive into the socials. The guys on socials who've been in touch. Now's a good time to discuss what they suggested. So on X, JedFPL, he mentioned Savio.
I do like him. He definitely was in one of my drafts. In his last like three appearances, you've got 5, 13 and 14. So he's a man in form. To say the least. It's just I just still don't trust City. That's the problem. Obviously, we're going with Foden. I think because of like historical data, it just feels like he's the more solid pick. But if you're looking at points alone, then you've definitely got to be looking at Savio as well. He's a kind of 50-50 split, isn't he, really? Yeah, I mean, he had those 2 huge hauls against Leicester and West Ham, 14 and 13. Again, but it's exactly the same position as Foden. Do you bring him in for the 1 week and then hook him? Who's got more potential returns?
He's a 50-50 call. I think we go Foden. I think we stay with Foden. Right, so just moving on. Okay. So that was Jed's suggestion. Jay on X, he came in with a Paqueta shout, and I was like, Jay, Paqueta, honestly. But then I thought about it, and I was like,
yeah, I just went...
Is this actually a bit genius? Obviously, West Ham are a new team now, new manager. Paqueta scored in the last game. Potter he's working his magic already. Jay could be a genius and getting ahead of the curve. We know Paqueta is capable, but I don't think he gets in. I don't think he gets into this team as things stand. Just because we've actually got some good options here, but I do think Jay could be onto something there.
Sorry, I heard that in a different way with my weird mind. It goes, because we've actually got some good options here. No, great shout.
I wonder if Jay is a West Ham fan.
I think
he's
he
like
probably
half
is.
hoping that
Great.
He's no,
Jay, honestly, solid shout. Like his head has been down recently, and I think the manager bounce is going to really help him. But fixtures wise, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Brentford, Arsenal. Yeah, not quite yet, but definitely when they improve, I like that.
That's it. I think it's just he's only had one good performance, so I think it's just slightly too early to bring him in at this point.
Yeah, good shout. Who's next?
So, and then the last thing, the bald tactician got in touch on Blue Sky. Guys, let me have your suggestions for the differential wildcard. Within like 30 seconds of it going out, the bald tactician went in with like a whole 11. Like literally, bam, I was like, bloody hell. He's gone, right, Alisson for the double. Like, he went deep straight away. So what you need, right? You need Alisson for the double. You need Milenkovic, Munoz, Konate, Eze, Iwobi, Foden, Elanga, Odegaard. Like, mate, we're all thinking along the same pages here. And then leading into our strikers, he suggested Gakpo, Mateta, Welbeck. So that's the Ball Tacticians front three. Where are you at, Will, with your front three?
Pretty much the same. Gakpo, Mateta, but I've gone with Wissa. Brentford's fixtures aren't amazing at the moment, but they do get better. So and he's still popping up. So and I'm mainly thinking that we should be, like, for me is normally a 3-5-2. So I'm not kind of. You can lean on him when the rotation is nicer, shall I say? So that's what I was looking at.
Yeah, I think Visser is obviously a great shout. The only reservation I have with Visser is he is 9.8% owned.
I did see this, but I thought he might be going down, not up.
I agree. Because, I mean, like you say, the next three, Liverpool, Palace away, Spurs at home, not great, although they're capable. But then they get a nice run. West Ham, Leicester, Everton.
I wanted that.
That gets a bit interesting then. And I think you're right. There's every chance he still might not be 10% owned at that stage.
Yeah. Like, it's not like he's not going to go up because huge amount because of the fixtures and pricing. The only problem is there is such a lack of entertaining strikers from an FPL perspective. Like, I'm just like, well, who else are you going to get? So, like, Solanke, no. Havertz, come on. Vardy, Welbeck, sure. Delap, Duran. There's no one. So I'm like, Wissa is.
I'll tell you. So basically, I put Solanke in provisionally because I was like, he's going to play 90 minutes. Spurs do have good fixtures. Spurs are terrible at the moment. They're in a right old pickle. I'm with you on playing 3-5-2. So it is someone that would predominantly be on the bench and he's going to chip in. But then when I saw the Ball Tactician shout of Welbeck, at first I was like, absolutely not, because he's played half an hour in like 7 game weeks or whatever. But if he's going to sit on the bench, mate, when we need him, he's going to be there. If he's back, I fancy him to get back into that team. I think it's... I think we think João Pedro is better playing alongside Welbeck, just behind him, rather.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the whole, Brighton's fixtures at the back end of the season are pretty decent. So I'm happy, he's happy to sit on the bench, bring him in when we need him. He's probably more of a threat than Solanke is. So I think he actually could be a good shout, to be honest with you. I'm happy to ditch Solanke. I wasn't excited about Solanke at all. But equally, Visser... I think it's probably... I mean, let's face it. Right now, he's more of a threat than Welbeck is. Why don't we say, let's get Visser in, and then, once he goes 10%, which he will, then we go back to Welbeck. I think it's a good shout.
Well, the only thing I would throw in... I'm about that. I think, I'm down. The only thing is if Welbeck does get minutes against Manchester United, he scores, because you know the rule. You always score against your old club, and Manchester United... could have been 4-0 down against Southampton last night.
The thing is though, like, I don't think we would play him. I don't think we'd play him this week. Do you know what I mean? We would, like, if we've got our current team at the moment is like, you're playing Odegaard against Villa this week, Eze against West Ham, you're playing Elanga at home to Southampton, Foden at Ipswich, Kulusevski away at Everton. I think you're playing 5, and then you're playing Mateta away to West Ham, and you're probably going to play Gakpo. So I think we're both aligned on Mateta and Gakpo away to Brentford. So I think a Welbeck, even if we had him this week, I don't think he'd get in this team.
Right. Okie dokie. Well, look, I'm good with that. It's basically what I had. So bringing in Wissa maybe later is a good shout. So.
Well, no. So I think we go with Wissa.
But I mean, you go with Wissa, but holding him on the bench and bringing him into the team later on. Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Okay, right.
Cool.
So the current team is Leno, Alisson in goal. Got Timber, Kirkes, Milenkovic, Munoz, and then Botman or Konate. We need to make a call on this. Still only Liverpool. We only got 2 Liverpool assets at the moment, so we could go Konate over Botman. And to be honest with you, I think we probably should do that. What's your thoughts? I know, is in a kind of non-serious way. This isn't our main team. We want to win this. We want to beat your little shit nephew Spike. But should we go arse man, game week 24 double with slot, or should we wait until later?
Wait until later.
Because I tell you what, we've still got triple captain, mate. Which is another conversation to have. Like, God knows who we're going to triple captain. Jota. Jota's the one we want.
Jota the slotter. That's exactly who we want. Right, so...
But then if we're bringing Jota in, that means we need to keep a slot open.
Sure. Okay, Botman.
Should we keep Botman, keep that slot open for Jota?
Let me just say that. So this week, Kanate's got Brentford and Botman has got Bournemouth, and then the week after is a really nice fixture for both. Kanate's got Ipswich and Botman's got Southampton. They kind of the same, right? They're the same. Yeah. Botman. And I mean, go Botman.
To be honest, Botman's probably going to be benched fodder most weeks anyway. You know what I mean? We've got some good options. Let's keep Botman. Let's keep our powder dry with the Liverpool slot. Yeah. Let's just see how it goes. See who we want to bring in, and we need to try and target an informed Liverpool player for 24.
I like it.
That is live tactics right there, everybody. You've had such a treat this week. Okay, so Botman has been decided. Alanga or Gibbs-White, William?
I made a decision. You know I'm a risk taker. I like the high ceiling. We go with Alanga.
Fine. Okay, great. So, midfield is Odegaard, Eze, Alanga, Foden, with a view to switching out for Iwobi maybe next week, maybe Jota the week after. Nice. And then our final spot in midfield is Kulusevski. And then we have up top, we've got Vissa, Mateta, Cody Gakpo. That
I really like it.
Is a good team. So the players we're saying goodbye to, I'm about to press the button. Goodbye Pope, goodbye Andy Robertson, goodbye Akanji, goodbye Delict, goodbye Sonny, goodbye Sarr, goodbye Jesus. Boom. They are
You've
gone.
Served us well.
They are gone. We do need to be careful of cash. We've only got 8.4 million in the bank.
We'll nip and tuck from different places.
Before we move on, let's quickly just set this team up for the weekend. We have to get some points back against Spike this weekend, right? So let's get. So out of our defenders this week, Munoz away to West Ham, Milenkovic at home to Southampton, Timber at home to Villa, Botman at home to Bournemouth. We need to lose one of those.
I think we go. I think we stick with Timber personally. Milenkovic, Timber, and Muniz, and then Botman on the bench for me. Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. That's fair. Fine. Midfield, our full midfield 5, and then Mateta and Gakpo up top. Captaincy choice.
Don't know. I might. Do you know what? Who I'd go with?
Actually, sorry. Quick question. Leno or Alisson? Leno, away to Leicester. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Cool. Go on, captain choice. Sorry, Will.
Right, I'm going to give you a selection of a few names, and then you can say yes or no.
I think I already know which I'm not going to
like. Okay, we'll start with the midfielders. Did we say we were keeping Foden in?
Yes,
forgot
we did.
that. Foden?
Yes,
yes or no?
Yeah, I've just put him on. I've just put the C on straight before you said it.
Okay, Eze is an option.
Not for me. Not against the new West Ham, the Graham Potter West Ham with Paqueta tearing it up. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but they'd still conceded 2 goals last week. Alanga, high ceiling against Southampton.
Oh, that's an option. I prefer that in many ways, just because that means not putting it on Foden.
Yeah, Imiobi, who's just literally
Imiobi's not in our team. He's not in our team.
Oh no, he's not in. Oh right.
He didn't make the cut.
Okay,
he's coming next week.
He coming next week. That was it. Or then the only other one is Mateta.
I think it's Foden or Alanga, or you could go Gakpo against Brentford. There'll be goals. But I think Foden or Alanga.
Make a decision. What are you thinking?
Foden. I think Foden.
Let's do it. Get it done. We'll change it tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Mate, that's good. I think it's good. I think that looks good. I'm excited about it. I feel like this has potential to really go forward, and we're going to bash that boy up. Because that boy, he don't know about chip strategies. He's played so many. And I guarantee you he'll go with Amarim for his arse man, because he's that guy.
Sure.
Which will probably do him really well. Typically.
We've got all the chips, Spike. We've played our wild card. We are coming for you.
All right,
125 points. What a good comeback this is going to be. I'm excited.
I love
it. That does it for this week, guys. We've got the deadline tomorrow, so we're going to get this straight out to you. Have a great weekend. Good luck. We'll be back next week. Will, have yourself a lovely weekend.
And you, my friend.
Guys, don't forget, follow us at Tom and Will FPL. Rate the show. Love you loads.
Do you know what? Loving all of the we're getting nice comments on social media and everything. But yeah, definitely if you are watching on the YouTube as well, like and subscribe. It does us a massive favour to jump us up those algorithms. So thank you very much. But yeah,
come say
good luck,
hi.
Thomas.
Nice one, guys.
Say hi,
That's
say
a
hi.
wrap. Hit the music.